All right, let me set the scene for you. Just picture this. I pull up to my family's old lakefront place, expecting maybe a couple of squirrels throwing a party in the tool shed, some weeds up to my knees, a branch or two on the ground. You know, the usual stuff you put off for a month and pretend it's not there. Instead, there's a damn fishing lodge where my grandfather's canoe rack used to be. I mean, really think about that. I've been gone a couple weeks, and now it looks like Bass Pro Shops annexed my shoreline. Yeah, that happened. So I slam on the brakes, dust flying, heart pounding, and there it is, cedar siding, a shiny metal roof, deck chairs, and a sign so proud it might as well be in neon. Silver Pines Lakefront Fishing Lodge. Private access for HOA members only. I'm telling you, I almost choked laughing and screaming at the same time. My lake. My name on the deed since Kennedy was president. And suddenly some HOA, who I'd barely heard of, decided they could just build a mini resort on my family's land like they were playing a real-life game of Monopoly. Let me back up a sec. My granddad bought this chunk of paradise from the state back in the 60s. All neat and tidy. Every inch mapped and taxed and double-checked. I'd walk those woods as a kid, counting tree rings and daydreaming, never once imagining someone would try to just take it because, what? They thought community was a magic word that let you rewrite property lines? So I inch my truck closer, slow, like I'm approaching a UFO, and two guys in vests are hammering benches into the deck. One's got a silver beard and shades, looks like he's waiting for lunch. He nods at me, real casual. Morning. You with the HOA too? And that's when I know this is about to get real weird. I tell him, which HOA would that be? And he just, without blinking, launches into how they're building a community lodge with all the right permits. The board said so, yada yada. I'm standing there, not even trying to smile, thinking, buddy, you're about 10 seconds from being the star witness in my court case. I pull out my phone, start recording, because you know that's just good sense nowadays, and say, do I look like I need an HOA rep to access my own lake? He gets shifty, starts backing away, mumbling about just following orders, and heads for a black SUV hiding in the trees. That's when I really start looking around. Security cameras, solar lights, grills and fire pits, even a freaking porta-potty in the woods. Like they expected to host the 4th of July out here, on my patch of dirt. So what do? You call the sheriff, that's what. And your lawyer. And you dig out the property survey you keep for moments just like this, when someone tries to steal your damn land. The deputy, Ruben, good guy, knows me from the feed store, shows up, takes one look at the lodge, and I swear his eyebrows nearly hit the brim of his hat. This wasn't here last month. No kidding, I say. Didn't think I needed to check if a suburban HOA would annex my lake when I bought groceries. He's baffled. Silver Pine says they've got some oral agreement, he tells me, like it's an old handshake from years back. Sure, maybe if you believe in fairy tales. I show him the survey, the boundary lines, the whole shebang. He sighs and says this is a zoning nightmare waiting to happen. I just nod, already texting my attorney. This is going straight to court. But before that, I want names. Who signed off? Who paid the contractors? Who decided community lodge meant go trespass on someone's homestead and build a shrine to entitlement? Ruben gets statements from the workers, who are suddenly very cooperative now that they realize this isn't a mix-up. The sun's setting. I'm pacing, part of me wishing it's a bureaucratic error, the other part knowing exactly who's behind this. And that, my friends, is where Karen enters stage left. If you've ever met an HOA president, you know the type. Clipboard, sunglasses bigger than her face. Voice like she's scolding a golden retriever for wagging its tail. Karen Lurel rolls up the next morning, backed by two board members like she's on a talk show, and tries to clarify some confusion. Oh, there's no confusion, Karen. You trespassed, vandalized, and built a freaking resort on my property. Silver Pines has always used this lakeshore, she says, acting like that's a legal argument. Residents have fished here for decades. Lady, that's called trespassing with extra steps. She keeps talking about tradition, community investment, peaceful recreation. I laugh. You built a lodge on my land. There's nothing peaceful about what's coming next. Her eyes go cold, and she tries to show me maps from her HOA. My surveyor Dean, bless his geeky heart, walks right up with a satellite overlay and GPS. Here's your boundary. Here's the lodge. You're 31 feet inside his parcel. One board member goes pale, Karen sputters, and I could almost feel bad if I didn't still have sawdust from her damn construction crew on my boots. She tries to bluff with customary use and implied easement, which is a fancy way of saying, we've always gotten away with it, so why stop now? But there's nothing in the paperwork, no access granted, no right-of-way, and definitely no law that lets you drop toilets on private property just because your dog likes to wander. That's when things turn into a circus. That night, I get a letter from the HOA's legal team accusing me of obstructing a community asset, threatening damages if I don't let their members wade in the lake like it's a public pool. They cite community morale as a legal defense. I swear, you can't make this stuff up. I send it all to my lawyer, David, and dig through the county building permits site. 0 records, no variance, no environmental study. The only permit they have is the Audacity permit, and Karen's been renewing that for years. And then, the Facebook group starts. Stop Lakegate. Reclaim public nature. There's a photo of the lodge, captioned, shared resource stolen by selfish landowner. Over 200 likes, angry comments, people threatening protests, calling the news. Karen posts about forged documents and legal violence. I mean, folks, if drama was a sport, these people would have gold medals. Soon enough, I get trespassers, actual adults, mind you, dragging canoes across my driveway, popping up tents, cracking beers, like it's Woodstock 2.0. I walk down, GoPro on my chest, heart pounding but steady. Hey fellas, what's the plan? They tell me Karen said it's all HOA land now, Greenbelt, everyone's invited. I warn them, get shoved by the drunk one, and I'll admit, I had to put him face down in the dirt. Nothing flashy, just enough to get my point across. Ruben, the deputy, shows up, takes statements, citations for trespassing and assault, but I let most of them off with a warning. I'm not a monster. But that night, someone tags selfish prick across my mailbox in spray paint. Grown adults, acting like middle schoolers. So now it's on. I add more cameras, security lights, bolt my deed in a lockbox by the gate, post every legal document I own. Next day, HOA members with picket signs, chanting about lake lockdown and no fascists on our shore. I sip my coffee, watching the show, and call my lawyer again. David is loving this. Let them dig, he says. They're burying themselves. That Monday, I drop off a mountain of evidence at David's office, screenshots, GoPro files, witness statements. His paralegal's eyes go wide, asks if she even wants to know. David's flipping through leaked HOA bylaws we got from an anonymous hero. Turns out, Karen spent $28, $650 of HOA money on the lodge, while outside the property lines. Within hours, David files a 3-part civil suit: unlawful construction, environmental damage, criminal trespass. And we hit the Department of Ecology with a complaint, including drone footage of every felled tree and gravel dump. Karen, undeterred, starts gaslighting the whole neighborhood with emails about minor disputes, downplaying the whole thing. But we've got more. Jessica, a resident, slips me an internal memo titled Strategic Lakefront Reclamation Timeline, detailing budgets. Plans for a second dock, all without a single vote. That's our twist. Jessica's the inside woman, and without her, half of this never sees daylight. Suddenly, the Department of Ecology shows up, inspectors in boots, clipboards ready, taking samples, photographing every illegal improvement. They're not impressed with Karen's community spirit. Unauthorized construction, no permit, environmental disruption, $47,000 fine. By noon, the HOA finally cracks, mass emailing residents about procedural oversights, urging calm. Then Karen herself apologizes, sort of. Mr. Devo has responded aggressively and legalistically, she says, which is a lawyer's way of admitting she lost, but isn't ready to say sorry. Then comes the real hammer. A county auditor's investigator shows up. Someone tipped them off about financial shenanigans. Maybe Jessica, maybe a nervous board member. He's thrilled with our Phase 2 memo, especially the part about public perception management. Would you testify if this goes to trial? He asks. Under oath and with a slideshow, I tell him. He laughs. That night, the HOA protest signs are gone. Facebook goes quiet. Board members start quitting in comment threads. Karen is suddenly nowhere to be found. Fast forward, courthouse day. Packed room, Karen looking paler than her blouse, David laying out every map, deed, and photo like it's closing arguments on Law and Order. Jessica takes the stand, cool and collected, tells the truth about Karen bypassing votes, forging documents. County prosecutor steps in, criminal charges looming over Karen's head. The judge, stone-faced, gives her verdict. Silver Pines trespassed, caused ecological damage, owes me $285,000 plus another $60,000 in fines. Has 30 days to demolish the lodge, and Karen herself is banned from any HOA job for a decade, referred for criminal investigation. The gavel drops. It's done. I walk out, past reporters, barely stopping to breathe until I'm out of town. At home, there's a demolition crew schedule in my inbox, a resident petition for a class action against the HOA. And, oh yeah, news that Karen's been arrested. Bail denied. 3 years hanging over her head. My lawyer calls, says I'm officially the HOA's worst nightmare. People across the country start emailing for advice, sharing their own horror stories, thanking me for standing up. And let me tell you, the day they tore down that lodge, I stood on the dock, arms crossed, watching every last plank and grill carted away. The county guys finished up, nodded to me, said, "Hell of a thing to defend for." "Hell of a thing," I replied. I installed steel gates, security, even a sign. "No, Karen, this still doesn't include you." Not petty, just necessary. The aftermath. Silver Pines lost half its members, class action suit pending, Karen erased from every record like she never existed. A reporter asks me what I'd have done if she'd just knocked and asked. I'd have probably said no, I told her, but I'd have respected the hell out of her for asking. The story goes national. People love seeing bullies lose. I keep getting letters, mugs, even a fruit basket from strangers. I don't want fame. I want peace. And finally, the forest heals. The lake goes quiet. I fix up Granddad's canoe rack, sit on the dock some mornings, and just listen to the water, nothing but wind and birds. Sometimes families come, read the sign, and leave quietly. It works. One day, my lawyer texts, Karen took a plea, probation, restitution, no jail, but her name's ruined forever. I just look at the lake and breathe. Some endings don't need applause, they just need silence. But you tell me, where's the line? When does standing your ground become selfishness? And when is it just necessary? Drop your take below, argue it out, share your own story if you've ever tangled with an HOA or had to fight for what's right. Because in the end, maybe that's what justice looks like, one stubborn person drawing a line, and everyone else having to decide which side they're really on.